Jurassic World.
Thank you.
Yeah, because let me say that you both are very tough.
Yeah, we are.
I think so.
That's pretty cool because I think we need more empowering role. Things in that kind of way.
Yeah.
Superwomen, and this is very great. So how fun was it for you shooting all that stuff?
Oh my gosh, I love getting to shoot movies that have a lot of action and a lot of stunts and that requires a lot of toughness, mental toughness, physical toughness. It's fun. It's like it's the way I get my kind of like adrenaline rush. DeWanda does that, and she also does very exciting things.
I'm a total adrenaline junkie, so it was like
my gosh.
Absolute dream. You know, I've done all the things, you know, deep sea diving, the whole nine, like certifications, the whole bit.
Skydiving, right?
Skydiving, yeah. So I'm wild about it. You know, I'll never forget the day that they were like, okay, DeWanda, we have to put the harness on you for this wire work. And I was like, wire work!
Yes.
Like, yeah, absolutely thrilling.
Yeah.
So what was your hardest day on set, if you're looking at all those physical things?
For me, you know, there were many days where there's circumstances where you need to do a lot of takes, and that's the most grueling, when you need to do many takes over and over and over again. But the scene, I remember the scene where I go underneath the water. And that was we needed to stay very focused because we weren't gonna have many takes. We were only gonna have one take of me going from being dry to being wet under the water. And so that was a day that I remember I was really thinking about and looking forward to far in advance, so that we kind of stuck the landing on that.
Yeah, and for me, it was more a matter, you know, I'd been up until that point, like, training and preparing for over a year. So, it wasn't necessarily, I think the hardest thing about it really was the degree of technical, you know what I mean? Like the sense of like, oh no, for real. You know, if you're working on a comedy, the camera kind of finds you and it's a dance and, you know, you're kind of like playing around and you're not really thinking about it. You can really get lost in it. But with a blockbuster this size, it's so technically specific. It's very like stop on a dime, like this is your mark, you know, please don't look down and ruin the take kind of thing. So I think of anything, executing those stunts with that degree of technical proficiency was probably the hardest.
And I'm pretty sure at a production of this scale, many funny things or weird things happen. So what was the weirdest thing, the funniest thing that happened during the shooting?
We just had a great bunch of playmates to work with. You know, I think the funniest thing to me is that our legacy cast are the most fun. They're the party animals.
They're all extroverts. Laura Dern, Stan Neal, Jeff Goldblum, B.D. Wong. They're all extroverts.
Total party animals.
Yes.
You know, so any day where you had all of us on set, especially the days you had all of us on set, it was just a party. It was always going to be a party. You know, it was whether it was like Jeff doing something very funny. No, I don't share secrets.
Jeff has a journal where he will write down all of his notes and ideas for lines and all that kind of stuff. And he keeps his paper and his pen. And when we're doing a scene, he'll throw out these lines.
You just have to stay in it.
And then he'll like cross it off and then like fold it back up and like put it in his pocket. And we're gonna be like, what's the next one gonna be? What's the next one gonna be?
There's a line that made it into the movie, and I'm not telling you what it is, but there's a line that made it into the movie, and we're shooting it, and we're like in the tunnel, and we're filming, and I was like, that line ain't making it into the movie. And then I remember watching it, and I was probably so loud in the theater.
Yeah.
I just bust out
It's
laughing.
the biggest laugh of the movie.
So funny.
It is the biggest laugh. Yeah.
Okay, we will watch out which line it was. And maybe some weird thing with the dinosaurs, because Connor told me they are not also CGI. You have many prosthetics and animatronics there?
Yeah, there were a ton of animatronics. There were 27 animatronic dinosaurs, which is an incredible experience to give us as actors, because what we're looking at is what you ultimately see in the movie. There's not, I mean, of course there's a ton of CGI, but there's far more, that the dinosaurs that are being depicted are in large part being depicted by these robots, by these animatronics. So an incredibly terrifying experience. Like I remember on the second movie, on Fallen Kingdom, I brought my daughter to set one day, and Chris brought his son to set. They're the same age, and there was an animatronic version of Blue, and they both responded totally differently. Like Jack ran up to the dinosaur, basically like put his head inside the dinosaur's mouth. My daughter came right up to, like, entered through the doorway, and just went, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go now, 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 I want to go now. Like she like was just like, why are you putting me in this room, Mom? And she was trying to like keep it on the DL, but she was just like, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go,
Not interested.
Yeah. And so it's like you respond the way you respond.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to plan out how you're going to interact with these creatures because it's very natural, and also because you're being given a performance, you know. So they're animated. They're brought to life. So it's really, really amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that with me.
Absolutely.
Great fun and loving talking to you on the red carpet.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
Great.